A controversial flag belonging to the Taliban has been removed by Qatari police. Not just the flag, but the banner and the flag pole are no longer visible. So does this mean that talks with the US, which were delayed, are now back on track? Well, for more, we're joined on the phone from Doha by CCTV Special Affairs correspondent Roee Ruttenberg. Hi there, Roee. So the flag's gone, the flagpole is gone, and the controversial placard at the front of the Taliban office is gone. What's next?
Well, one would imagine that what would be next would be the parties actually speaking. This office was set up so that they could have this sort of dialogue. It was, according to the Americans, intended to be called the Office for Peace Talks. And John Kerry, when he was here, made it very clear that unless the office serves as a facility for those talks, it might actually be closed. What we did hear in the last 24 hours is a bit of accusations. The Taliban spokesman here saying that the Qataris knew that the office would be called what it was, the Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan, the name used by the Taliban during their short rule over the country, and that they were aware that the flag and the flagpole would be there. But it appears that the Qatari authorities who sent in the police were responding to pressures by the U.S. after being placed in a rather awkward position with their Afghan friends here. So now it appears that the conditions that angered Afghanistan have been reversed. The dispute over exactly how that building should be perceived. As we've just heard, Afghanistan wants its talks between its High Peace Council and the Taliban. The final talks actually happen in Afghanistan, but is prepared to have talks here, initial talks here in Doha. It may seem that now, if the Taliban is back on page, according to the demands that they had wanted, that Hamid Karzai, the Afghan president, might indeed send his delegation from Afghanistan. That delegation was canceled last week, and it could obviously be that the Americans in their own separate talks would also talk with the Taliban.
And Roee, speaking in India, John Kerry suggested that Washington still wants the talks to proceed, and a special envoy is still in Doha. Could it be that they are indeed meeting and simply not disclosing it?
Well, yes, that could be the case. We know that the first high-level talks were held in secret 2 years ago. We understand that American officials have been on the ground on numerous occasions, low-level officials having low-level talks with the Taliban, obviously meant to build up to the creation of this office where they could have these open, direct public meetings. And last Tuesday, when the office for the Taliban opened here and the media were invited in, it was thought to be this occasion where the Taliban were open for business, that they would be speaking to the media, that the Americans would come, there would be a big display, that the world will see that the Taliban has re-emerged on the public stage for the first time officially in sort of 13 years, and we're prepared to deal with some of the issues between the U.S. and the Taliban. Now it seems that a lot of that has been spoiled by a rough start. There is a bit of a timing issue here. Ambassador James Dobbins, the U.S. Special Envoy for AFPAC, is indeed in Doha. He flew here following his delayed departure, but he flew here to join John Kerry, and he is still here. But it is now Monday at 9 a.m. He is due to travel to Kabul, so it could be that they would maybe meet before he leaves on Monday, perhaps secretly, perhaps even at the airport. There are some special reserved areas for these types of meetings, perhaps out of the public fanfare, and then we might get some type of statement by U.S. officials saying that there was at least an introduction of sorts and that things are back on track. It's unlikely that we'll get that big public display.
All right, Roee, many thanks for that. That's Roee Ruttenberg and speaking to us from Doha. Now, the